It's because of twisted conversations like this that as a society we need to realistically start speaking about the confusion that is happening in today's world. Conversations like this that are being thrown out into society, that as a people we all need to stand by what we believe in. If you're a person of faith and you've got your morals and your values that you live by, one of the things that always puts us in a bubble is because we're told if it's your Christian values, it's your morals, it's your views, it's got nothing to do with me. Don't push your agenda on me. Don't push your Christian values on me. Allow me to live the way that I want to live and stand by what I believe in. We as Christians have been put into this don't judge me box because we are Christians. We are not allowed to judge according to the Bible, as people say. We don't have an opinion and we don't have a say when things are pushed in front of us that we don't believe in and that we don't stand by. Look, I am by no means homophobic. I have gay family members in my family and I have accepted them fully the way that they are because that's got nothing to do with me. That's between them and whatever it is that they're going through, and if that's how God intended for them to be, then that's between them and God. But one of the things that does trigger me and it upsets me when conversations like this happen, and somebody as influential as, now I love Carlos King, but somebody as influential as Carlos King in the Black community all over the world, his opinion does matter. What he puts out does matter. But when you put out society damaging conversations like this, it's a very dangerous thing to do, because at the end of the day, as a Christian, right? And I've had a lot of interactions like this with people that are in the LGBT community. Somebody will say to me, accept me the way that I am, allow me to live the way that I live, don't push your agenda on me. Granted, but in the same breath, that same person will say that my values, my opinions as a Christian don't matter because it's in direct contradiction with how they choose to live their life. So what about you respecting my values, respecting my boundaries, and not putting your agenda and your belief system on my head? Why is it not reciprocal? And this is the one thing where a lot of people in the LGBT community feel like they are not accepted, but the truth is, it's just because they're constantly fighting other people's belief system in a way for them to fight for their belief system to be accepted. The way that you can be accepted, if you want to be accepted by society, you have to be able to accept society as well. You have to be able to accept them as well. If you want somebody to respect you, you have to be able to respect them as well. You cannot ask for something that you don't have the capacity to give. I've never been a follower of E.J. Johnson. I don't really know what he does, and all I know is that he's Magic Johnson's son. But when I saw this interview, I was a little bit curious to see what it is that he was saying, because social media went in an uproar, and it was the straight community, the gay community, and everybody else in between. Everybody was mad. Gay people were mad at him, and Carlos King should not have aired this interview, or he should have cut this part out. And this is the part that I'm talking about.
But also, in terms of the gender and sexualities and stuff like that, it was very important because that happens. I don't attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. Like, it's just not a thing.
Tell me more about that.
I think, like, if you ask any of the girls, like, they'll tell you the same. And I think they're just labels. That's why, like, I don't care what, like, I'm dating someone. I'm like, I don't care what you identify as or what you call yourself, as long as you're happy being who you are. But no, but to be honest, it's like, that's why I don't go to gay clubs. I don't go to, gay things, because it's like the men that I attract are not there. And also, like, they're like, they kind of like wave you off. You're just like, oh, that, hey girl, like, it's not, you're not in here like the rest of us are. It's always, but I never really understood it until now, because before, when I would go and I just was like, there's something about this room. It's like, it's almost like they don't want me here. Like, I'm not really in it here because I'm not presenting as a man. I'm not presenting in that way.
And to be clear, the gay community room.
Yeah.
Your own community. Yeah.
But it's not like a shameful thing or just like, oh, they're mean to me. But it's like, these are not my men in terms of attraction. Now, if I'm just going to have a kiki, sure. But like, these are not the men that are interested in me in that capacity. I do that when I go to the straight rooms.
So. So, has it always been that way for you in terms of when it comes to men? Has it always been what some people consider the straight guy always being the one that would approach you?
Or somebody who, has been intimate and dating, women for most of their life or like up until then. For sure. Absolutely. It has always been that way, but now it's like even more so. Now that I definitely present in more of a feminine way. Because also like it's like my energy is that.
For a young black gay man in the 21st century, when it's accepted for you to live your life exactly how you want to live, to come out in front of the world and say, I don't belong to the gay community, or I don't feel like I belong to the gay community because I only date straight men, is the biggest contradiction in itself. A contradiction in every way possible. And that is the narrative that is being put out there that is so dangerous. And I really feel like as Christians, this is a time where certain things we just have to say no to. Don't push this in front of our kids, though. Don't push this in front of our society, because you cannot push every and any agenda that you're trying to push in front of the world. What this young man should have said was, I date gay men who present masculine, and I date straight men who are on the DL that are not out yet. And I'm personally upset about this kind of statement, because again, it's putting a narrative out in society that we have to accept the notion that says a man can be straight and sleep with other men as long as he doesn't identify as gay. That's rubbish. And we cannot live in a society where everything said by John, Tom, Dick, and Harry, we have to accept and insert in the Bible of society. How many things are we going to accept at the end of the day? And for Christians, there's never been a time as strong and as desperate as it has been than it is now for us to stand by our morals, our values, and our principles. Because certain things are just, I don't want to say unbiblical, but they're immoral to have to push in front of people. And that's why there's a society out here of women that are so fearful and so hesitant of getting into relationships, getting into marriages, getting to interact with men, because you will end up marrying EJ's boyfriend because he identifies as straight, although he likes to sleep with EJ. That's unacceptable. We cannot live in a society that says that is okay. And women are scared, and I'm gonna stand up for women because I'm a woman. We're scared. I'm scared to get married tomorrow and end up married to a man who's gay. There are hundreds and thousands of stories of women that are in marriages 5, 6, 10, 20 years and finding out that they're married to somebody who actually sleeps with other men. I don't want to be, as a married woman, I don't want to be, and this notion of, oh, a threat to your marriage is a threat to your marriage, whether it's coming from a gay man or a woman, whether it's coming from a man or a woman, that is a rubbish notion, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're married to someone and he chooses to be unfaithful to you, that's on them. That says more about them than it does about you. But the one thing that is dangerous and is mentally and emotionally damaging, and it's messing with women's mental health, is to be married to a man who you think and believe is straight, to find out down the line that he sleeps with other men and he's attracted to other men. That is psychologically damaging, because if you find a way to navigate how to understand it, how do you explain that to your children, that daddy is leaving mommy, the relationship is not working, but go to your dad's house for the weekend and they find Uncle Tom there? How do I as a woman explain that to my kids after I've been in a marriage for 10, 20, 30 years? How do I as a woman explain that to my children, especially women that have young children? That's a very difficult conversation to have. And that's why it's upsetting, because nobody is saying don't be gay, but don't pretend to be straight and then go out and date the EJs of the world because society needs to accept that you are masculine and that you are straight but you have a gay sexual preference. That doesn't make any damn sense. So as a society, and I'm speaking especially to the Christian community because I'm a Christian, right? There has to be boundaries where we say certain conversations like that should not happen. Believe what you want to believe, but keep it to yourself. You don't need to push that narrative onto everybody because it's just psychologically unhealthy. Society has become unhealthy. It has become toxic. There's a lot that we're dealing with already in this life to still have to put up with confused mindsets and confused ideology where everybody wants to believe everything about life. You have to pick a lane. You have to pick a struggle. Like, I cannot say I believe in God, I believe in Christianity, and I believe in traditionalism, and I believe in voodoo, and I believe in science, and I believe in all kinds of nonsense things. No, you have to pick a lane. If you're going to believe in Christianity, believe in Christianity and live by those standards. If you're going to choose to believe in being liberal and being allowed to be polyamory and radical monogamy and all of this nonsense, fine, do you, but do it within the confinement of your society. That's all I'm saying. Let's learn to coexist and not to push one another's beliefs on each other. That's all I'm saying. And for women, there is this narrative, because there's this narrative that I've seen on social media where people are like, no, there is no single epidemic. Your standards are just too high, and if you don't learn to accommodate other people, then you're gonna find yourself lonely and bitter and single with cats at 80 as a man or as a woman. That's not true. Have enough faith in what you believe in to stand by what you believe in and trust that God is gonna come through at his own time, and understand that if marriage is for you, if it's in the cards for you, God will deliver the person that is for you, that is compatible with you, and that has the same views, opinions, values, principles, and morals about life as you do. So that when you're in the confinement of your home, having children, bringing children into this world, you're able to teach them something that both of you stand by and both of you believe in. Because you cannot condition yourself to society's way of doing things out of fear. In 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, the Bible clearly says that God did not give us a spirit of fear or timidity, but rather one of power, love, self-discipline, and of a sound mind. And I don't know if for those, and the thing about sound mind is peace of mind. To be able to go in your bed at night and sleep, not to be fearful that your partner is gonna come home and you don't know where they're coming from. They're gonna bring you back an STD, they're gonna bring you back HIV, they're gonna come to you and tell you they just got somebody pregnant, or whatever the case might be. Peace of mind is sound mind. And God gave us a spirit of peace of mind. And if you choosing to be alone gives you peace of mind because you cannot find someone, or you cannot meet someone that is compatible with your values and your morals, then sleep with peace of mind, because only within that will you be able to have power and love. Because the minute that your peace of mind is out of the equation, then it's chaos and strife, and that is all that is going to appear within your life and within your space. So if being alone gives you that peace of mind and allows you to be in love and in power, then do that until God's timing comes. And if God's timing never comes for you to get married or to have a partner, maybe that was not part of your destiny, and that's okay. Then fulfill that which God has asked you to do, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a doctor, whether you are a business person employing 100 people, and through that business 1,000 families are fed because you've got 100 people that you're paying a salary to. Maybe that is what God intended for your life. So commit to that. You don't need to subdue your values in order to fit in with what society says, and in order for us to have to accept trash like this. I am sorry, I am by no means homophobic, but this is a bunch of BS. And if Carlos King was somebody with some type of a moral compass, he saw this clip, because when I saw shorts on YouTube, this was one of the clips that he actually used to advertise and to market and to push out that this video was coming out. So he knew that this was going to be controversial. If Carlos King is a person of, and I get it, it's entertainment, it's the numbers, whatever the case might be, but there has to be a line. You have to draw the line somewhere where you say, you know what, I hear what you're saying, I understand that that's what you believe in, but this is not going to be received well by everybody, so maybe let me just cut it out. Because at this point, straight people are pissed, gay people are pissed. Like, do we really care what society thinks and how society feels anymore? Or is just to each their own, and whatever happens happens? But ultimately, I just wanted to come on here and say, if you are a person of faith, whatever faith you stand by, well, it might not be Christianity, maybe you're Buddhist or you're Muslim or whatever the case might be, but stick to your values and your principles according to what you believe in. Don't let society dictate to you what you can or should accept. If it doesn't align with your values, don't accept it. And when you can, speak out and say, I hear you and I understand you, but I do not co-sign that, or I do not stand by that. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.